Hey everyone, welcome to The Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled you're joining me today. Our goal for this session is simple, but it is incredibly powerful. We are going to completely demystify German verbs. By the end of this explainer, you're going to walk away fully empowered with the exact mechanical formulas you need to build your very first hundreds of correct German sentences. It's going to be a lot of fun, and honestly, way easier than you might think. Let's get started.
Now, to understand why verbs matter so much, check out this phrase, I German. Wait, what? Kind of sounds like a caveman, right? What we actually mean is, I learn German. You see, a sentence without a verb is exactly like a car without an engine. It might look really nice on the outside, but it goes absolutely nowhere. The verb is what gives your sentence momentum.
So, here's our workshop manual for the day. We're going to cover the sentence engine, demystifying verb conjugation, the assembly line or stem, regular verb endings, building your first sentences, and finally, the vowel-changing curveball. Let's dive right in. All right, part 1. The sentence engine. So, what exactly is a verb?
At its core, a verb is simply an action word. Think eat, sleep, study, walk. You can think of a verb as the literal mechanical engine of your sentence. It tells us what is happening right now. Without this powerful engine, your communication just totally stalls. You could know every noun in the dictionary, but without verbs, you literally can't tell anyone what you are doing with them.
Moving on to part 2, demystifying verb conjugation. Yep, the big scary grammar word.
Listen, conjugation is one of those words that absolutely terrifies beginners across the globe, but I promise you, it simply means changing the verb depending on who is doing the action. That's literally the whole shebang. It sounds like some intimidating legal process, but going back to our car analogy, it really just means customizing the engine for the specific driver behind the wheel. And guess what? You actually already know how to do this. Take a look at English. We say I eat, but then we say he eats. Boom, we added an S to change the verb based on the person. That is conjugation. German just does it a little bit more often, like ich lerne becomes du lernst. So it's a completely familiar concept, nothing to stress over. Okay, part 3, finding the verb stem. Time to hit the assembly line. So let's break down the factory model of a verb, which grammarians call the infinitive. I'm going to guide you through this super simple, completely repetitive, mechanical process. Almost every single German verb in its dictionary form ends in en. Step 1, find that infinitive. Let's use lernen. Step 2, just strip that en right off the factory model. Step 3, you reveal the raw engine block, in this case, learn. This core stem is what we're going to be working with. Which brings us to part 4, the regular verb endings. Let's customize that engine. All right, so we've got our raw engine block. Now it's time to bolt on the custom parts. We do this by attaching these incredibly predictable pronoun endings right to our stem. This pattern, you're going to use it for literally thousands of regular verbs. For ish or I, you just add an E. For do, the informal U, add ST. For air, Z, S, you slap on a T. Weir gets an EN, ear gets a T, and Z or the formal Z gets an EN. This right here is your secret decoder ring to speaking German. Let's see how this actually builds when we put it all together. Notice how beautifully mechanical this is. We just plug our learn stem directly into our endings. Ich lerne, du lernst, lernt, wir lernen. The verb stem stays exactly the same every single time. Only the endings shift to match whoever is doing the action. Seriously, it's just like snapping Lego pieces together.
Part 5, building your first sentences. Time for the road test. Okay, we've successfully assembled our customized engine. So let's hit the road. But before we press the gas, we absolutely need to lock in golden rule number 1. In a basic German sentence, the subject, the person doing the action, comes first. The verb comes second. And the rest of the information, that just follows. Check it out. Ich, the subject. Lerne, our conjugated verb. Deutsch, the rest. I learn German. This subject-verb-rest framework is literally the chassis for almost all basic German sentences.
Let's look at a few more examples using the verbs wohnen, spielen, and arbeiten. For I live in Berlin, take wohnen, find that stem wohn, add the E for ich, and you get ich wohne in Berlin. Want to say you play football? Take spielen, grab spiel, add st for du, boom. Du spielst Fußball. And for we work is just we arbeiten. Do you see how easily you can swap in new stems to instantly build totally new sentences? You're already speaking German.
All right, final part, section 6, the vowel-changing curveball. a custom tune-up. Now, before we close up the garage for the day, I want to prep you for a slight curveball so you aren't caught off guard out in the wild. Notice the vowel shift happening here with the verb sprechen, which means to speak. For ich, it's totally normal. Ich spreche. But for du and the E in the stem suddenly shifts to an I. Du spricht. Spricht. So this illustrates that while our mechanical rules apply like 90% of the time, some of these specialized engines require a tiny little tune-up for certain pronouns. Always keep an eye out for those.
Well, we have covered a ton of ground today, and you now have all the mechanical skills you need to run this assembly line all by yourself. So I'm going to leave you with a quick challenge to test out your brand new knowledge. The verb is machen, which means to do or to make. Knowing what you know now, how would you conjugate machen for ich, du, and Think about the steps, strip it down to the stem, snap on those endings. What do you get? Think on that. Thanks so much for hanging out with me for this explainer, and I'll catch you next time as we continue to unlock the amazing mechanics of the German language.